So the question is about the punishment of grave. What is the reality of the punishment of grave?
Grave can generally be applied to the time before the Day of Judgment. And when people are buried, their soul has some link with them. And in a confused way, if they are bound to go to heaven, they have a feeling of peace, and they can feel as if an air from heaven. But it's only metaphorical. The person who is dead and buried in the grave, he does not himself feel anything, but only the feeling can be referred to his soul, or maybe it is just a warning by Allah that your punishment or reward will begin from the time of your burial. Now this is a very difficult question for me to answer, because we know that there will be a very long time between the burial of a person and his having been raised again, like you hear about the Yawm-e-Qiyamah, that on the day of resurrection they would all suddenly wake up. So the question is, if they have no sense at all, they are just asleep for that long, why is mentioned qabr, azab al-qabr, so repeatedly and so definitely? Azab al-qabr, as well as the feeling of the past people, would go to heaven. In my opinion, there has to be something which you don't realize, because it is of a nature that every one of the prophets have warned us of this. Hazrat Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has repeatedly warned us and told us prayers which clearly beg Allah to save us from the torture of the grave. Similarly, Hazrat Masih Maud alayhi salatu wasalam has repeatedly told us of prayers, warned us against the torture of grave, and taught us prayers to seek forgiveness from Allah to save us that torture. So although I cannot understand exactly how the dead body would be feeling, or some sort of consciousness would exist or not, but the fact is that this is definite. So whether we understand it or not, we must continue to pray to Allah and beg Allah to save us from this torture. But perhaps it will be only for the initial phase. After that, everybody would go to sleep, in the sense that he would be raised on the day of resurrection and not before that. Another possibility is, which may appeal to some more than the period that I have mentioned before, is that the period of the development of soul would take place a very long time. And during that development of soul, until the soul is resurrected as being worthy of questioning and answering, etc., would take a very long time. And from our soul, a body will develop. And from within that body, a new soul will emerge. This is not a matter of some days or months or years or even millions of years. It may happen in a billion years that all this process of evolution takes place. So it's a sort of evolution within the soul, whereby ultimately it will develop into a full independent unit. All this period could be referred to as khabar. So if the soul is an evil soul, it will continue to suffer. And if it's a heavenly bound soul, it will continue to feel the pleasure. So that could be the meaning of azab al-qabr, or the pleasure of feeling heaven in the grave. It will not happen in the grave where you are buried.